Welcome back, all you Courage, Confidence, and Connections podcast fans. I'm Janice Debo, your host. My guest today is DJ iSizzle, and you've seen him here before. So, welcome back. He's a true expert in creating unforgettable wedding moments. Please welcome DJ iSizzle. He does have a real name, but nobody calls him that. He's based in Seattle. DJI Sizzle brings the party from Bellingham all the way down the I-5 corridor to Vancouver, Washington. And I bet if you want him bad enough, he'll go further. Uh, he provides couples across the region with an elevated and stress-free entertainment experience. With over a decade of experience behind the decks, DJI Sizzle has recently rebranded his services to focus exclusively on weddings. Known for his high energy, precision timing, and crowd-pleasing style, he works closely with each couple to craft custom playlists and deliver seamless entertainment that reflects their love story. Whether it's the ceremony, cocktail hour, or the final dance, DJI Sizzle brings professionalism, creativity, and a whole lot of fun to every celebration. And welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much. That was an awesome intro. I was like, wow, that's really cool. Thank you.
Well, what inspired you to shift into weddings only DJing?
Yeah, I'll give you just a really simple answer. I love weddings, and I started realizing trying to do all these different events that I was kind of spreading myself thin, and I wasn't focusing on what I was really good at. So I feel like weddings, brides and grooms, they're so grateful, and after we always get done, they always thank me, and it's such a great experience. So I said, let me just focus on weddings from here on out, and all the other events we'll just have to kind of put on the back burner for now.
Well, that makes sense because you are a specialist in this area. How many
Mhm.
weddings have you DJ'd in the last year?
Last year we did around 40.
Wow.
So yeah, we stay pretty busy. We do at least one a weekend, sometimes two a weekend, but that's where it's like spreading yourself thin. Like I really want to focus on just doing one a weekend. And if I have to raise my prices up just a little bit to keep the quality correct, I think that's probably the best approach at this point.
Quality matters.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What sets you apart from other wedding DJs? What makes you different and unique?
Mm, absolutely. I think you kind of touched on it in the intro. It's about being customization. A lot of couples, they really like to work from their own playlists because the music is their love story. So I feel like if I can add that customization, because I know a lot of different DJs, and not talk bad about anybody in the industry at all, but a lot of them kind of look at it couples as like cookie cutter, and they're all the same kind of couples. So I always like to add that individualism and that uniqueness to every wedding and experience with the couples.
I think that's really important. So, do you offer services for the ceremony as well as the reception?
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of just depends on the wedding and the couple. Some couples, they don't want any ceremony service. I do offer it in my package. I offer like an all-in-one package to just simplify everything. If you need ceremony, I offer that within the package. If you don't, you don't have to have it, as well as I offer microphones and anything else you might need for the officiant as well. So,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
all in one. Just keep it simple, That's the way I look at everything.
okay. And you do lighting? Do you have special lighting?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's included in the package as well, which I know a lot of the DJ companies they add that on as an additional charge. But again, like I said, just keep it all in one, and then also let's just make sure the service of the DJ service is just enhanced, on the dance floor as well. So
Oh,
just make sure
good,
we have lighting.
good. Well, how do you personalize each wedding experience? Because they're all unique.
Sure. So I have a music planner, which is like an outline, which covers everything from ceremony music all the way down to the final farewell song that they would like played. But the biggest thing is the do not playlist, because like a lot of music today, it's good, but it doesn't connect with certain couples, certain generations, certain genres. I get a lot of like no heavy metal in the playlist, like do not play any heavy metal, don't play any hardcore rap, just as well as like lyrics. Do you want explicit or clean lyrics? So the music outline it goes over every special moment, every little possible detail within a wedding. So after you DJ a couple hundred weddings in like a few years, you're like, let's make sure we have everything perfectly customized and everything listed for the couple. Very unique to their love story.
And that's really important. Why do DJs charge what they do?
I can't speak upon what another company or another DJ will charge, but I can tell you, for me, first off, I have an assistant because I don't want to be driving a couple hours to these gigs stuck in traffic. And then I got to show up and be in a great mood because like traffic will put you in like the worst mood. I know from personal experience. So she'll do the driving for me. I have to pay her to be there and help me set up the equipment as well. We always show up 2 hours before, so I include that within the price, as well as I cover everything from gas costs to the amount of time it takes to travel to get to the venue, as well as the teardown costs and as well as the travel home. So,
Okay.
like I said, I kind of mentioned it again, but it's all in one price covers everything. You don't have
Oh,
to worry about any hidden fees or anything like that.
so the next question, I think you might have already answered. Can you break down
Mm.
what's included in your
I
price?
think I think I broke it down pretty well.
You did. You did actually.
Yeah, and if you inquire about pricing or a package, like, a lot of times they're like packages. What packages do you offer? I'm like just one. So I just call it the ultimate celebration package. And include everything you need.
That,
And you can choose what you want and what you don't want. So.
well, it keeps it simple too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. There's so many decisions that go into planning a wedding. Like I'm like I don't want to complicate anybody anymore, with the services that I offer. So
No, absolutely. How do you respond? Because I'm in a market too that everybody wants to compare. You charge too much. How do you
right.
respond to couples who say we found someone cheaper?
Yeah, I think it's you get what you pay for, like
You do.
you can go get something cheaply made and by all means, it's probably going to end up breaking on you, or it is cheap. So I have top of the line, state of the art equipment when it comes to speakers. I just upgraded my microphone. It's a minimum of $1,000 for this microphone and the transmitter that it has. It has backup technology, so you'll never get a dropout. I can go to an airfield, which is like the worst place for microphones, and it has backup upon backups and an individual channel that you can actually use. So if you're doing the most important speech of your life in front of all your friends and family, it's not going to drop out on you. So that's the difference. Like you can buy $100 microphone or you can buy $1,000 microphone. And same with lighting. We just upgraded our lighting this year. So it's yeah, we're a little more state of the art than the cheap guy that may do something like I wouldn't want somebody that doesn't know what they're doing working on my car. I would want a professional, certified,
Yeah.
somebody working on my car, as well as I have liability insurance as well, which a lot of the venues require. So if something happens and it's my fault, I have insurance to cover that. So there's just extra costs that come into it. So if you got something cheaper, they're probably not as experienced. They don't have liability insurance. And I don't know. It's up to you. Like, I've been doing this for over 10 years and I think experience matters. It really helps with your attitude and the overall experience.
And confidence too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want somebody getting on the microphone and being like, "Blah, blah, blah," and somebody get people's attention, and that comes with experience. So it
It
really
does.
does.
So that kind of defines the difference between a professional and an amateur, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just professionalism, and then also just being prepared and knowing. Like I bring backup equipment with me as well to gigs because this is the Super Bowl. This is the most important day of somebody's life, and I don't know. You got to be extra prepared. So I'm always like, well, if this happens, then do I have a backup for this? And do I have a backup for that? And so, yeah,
Yeah.
it's important. Yeah, I think that's professionalism versus the amateur, which, oh, we'll just hook up my phone and let's just hope for the best. Like, it's like, well,
No,
I
I
mean,
don't
you
think so.
can, yeah. And I also download all my music, which I know is really old school, but I want to make sure that I have it on a physical hard drive
Mhm.
on the actual computer itself versus, oh, let's just rely on the Wi-Fi at the venue and hopefully it works. I mean, like, man, you got a couple hundred people here. Some of them are from out of state, out of the country, and they're coming in here for your wedding. They spend all this money. You spend all this money. Like, least you can do is be prepared as a DJ. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So that speaks to experience.
oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so how does having high quality equipment impact the experience and the night? And what do you bring to these?
Yeah, I think it just impacts the overall quality of the performance and also the confidence within the performance because if you're working with equipment that's might fail on you or just isn't good quality, like I'll research a good 3 to 6 months before I'll buy new equipment. Like I'll look at all the reviews, all the videos, I'll listen to DJs from Cleveland, New York, Florida, like as many different DJs as I can listen to about a product. And then you look at all the reviews and you'll be like, okay, this looks like a good product to go with. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Well, yeah, it does. Research is important, and
Yeah.
you don't want something to fail. And you've already said that you bring backup
Oh,
equipment.
absolutely. Yeah. I had an experience once where I bought this cheap speaker. Well, it was like 65, $75. And I bought it. I had it come in. It took a couple of weeks to special order. I hook it up. It doesn't work. I take it back to the store. They say, oh, no problem. We'll get it to you in a couple days. I get it back, plug in the new one, doesn't work. I'm like, okay. And then by the third one, I said, you know what? I'm done with this brand. I'm done with this speaker. Let me just spend $500 on a speaker versus 65 to $75. Like you have to spend the money because, again, you're in a moment where it's like this is your moment, you better hit it because this is a live event. Make sure you hit all your cues. So, and
Yeah,
having that quality equipment is so important.
and
It,
you
it
want
really
good
is.
reviews.
Yeah, you really do want good reviews, and I've been fortunate enough to get really good reviews, and I have the best couples and their parents and grandparents or whatnot. Yeah, I have really good couples, so I've been very lucky in that sense.
Well, how do you build a custom playlist for them?
That's pretty much kind of up to them. Like a lot of couples will ask if they can provide their own playlist, whether it be like Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube. And then sometimes a couple will be like, we like these kind of songs. Can you build a playlist around that?
Mhm.
And then that's where I'll build a playlist around it, and then go back to the do not plays and the must plays and the are requests okay, those kind of situations. So.
Yeah, because requests can get tricky, I'm sure.
Yeah, they can. I mean, I think by the end of the night, like by the end of like a good 5, 6 hours of celebrating, um, maybe a few drinks, I think the requests you can kind of work in there okay. Like people are a little more open-minded than earlier in the evening, probably. So I've always had good luck with requests, and I do actually encourage requests because a lot of times like a couple's friends will know a song that they love from like 10 years earlier or something, and they'll be like, "Hey man, you gotta play this song. It's one of his favorite songs," and it always goes really well. So.
So
Yeah, I like taking requests and stuff. So,
what is your mixing style?
it kind of varies. Like I've found so I download from DJ record pools like all my songs, so they're the highest of quality, as well as you're able to mix in songs at certain points that are good and not so good, and that's all experience too. Like you'll find certain songs, man, like 5 minutes of it is not as good as a minute and a half of it. Or some songs, like people only know the hook, they don't know the chorus. Or excuse me, they don't know the first verse or they don't know the second verse, but they know the hook. So you have to do like special edits of songs to kind of move them in and out. Or you can hype up a crowd and say, help me sing this song. I know you guys know the lyrics. Help me sing this song at the top of your lungs." So I focus more on the experience of making sure the songs are at the right place at the right time. And crowd interaction is really important to that. So I'm not really the DJ that like puts my head down and just mixes back and forth. Like I'm a little more like crowd interaction and like, how are we feeling tonight? Let's make some noise for the bride and groom. So.
Yeah, I have an off the cuff question. So
Oh yeah.
what if you get a request that you're not prepared for and you don't have in your genre in your bucket list or whatever you want to call
Yeah. Well, the prepared list, yeah. The playlist. Absolutely. So I have a technique. If you can go on YouTube and they have like a special like area where it says most played. So if I don't have the song, I'll have my assistant with me, and she can kind of help me like transition songs or like while I'm like bringing down the song, bring it down, be like, okay, this is the sweet spot right here. Hit the cue point in, bring the song in at that point, and then you always kind of like you say, hey, we got a special request from what was your name, and then we highlight them just in case the song doesn't work, and
Very good.
they can be like, oh, it's just a song request, so the DJ isn't really this isn't like one of his favorite jams, so.
That's really good. How do you keep the dance floor going?
Yeah, that's definitely with the music outline and understanding the couple and their friends and family, like what songs they really like. So, some couples they want all the hits, every wedding song known to man, like play all those ones. Other couples will be like, we're not really into that kind of music, so go a little more indie. We'd be cool with that, or a little less known songs. So, all that's preparation, the pre-meeting. just before the wedding. We always do a meeting just before to talk about like how you guys feeling? Like what are you guys thinking about the crowd and what are they going to be feeling? So it just really depends on the couple, and sometimes an evening will shift where the groom will come up and be like, "Hey, play this song next. Hey, play this song next. Hey, play this song next." And it wasn't in the playlist or whatever, but hey, you're the bride and groom, man. I'm here to help you guys enhance the experience, and it's all about the good time. So
It
we'll do
is.
exactly what you want to play. Let's go for it.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
how do you guys dress for the wedding? And
You can kind of see I wore my I wore my button up,
yeah,
as well as my my nice suit and my hat. Um, that goes back to like the preparation, and you always ask the couple like, what kind of wedding is this? Is this a suit and tie wedding? Do you want me to wear a tie? No, we don't like ties. Okay, I won't wear a tie. Or, oh, this is a Hawaiian themed wedding. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I better not. I better wear some Hawaiian shirts then to kind of to match a little bit more. So.
very nice.
Yeah, you always talk to him before that. You don't want to show up in like a suit and tie and it's like a casual wedding. So
Okay, so let's talk about your hats. And speaking of casual
yeah.
and Hawaiian style, what kind of hat would you wear to a Hawaiian wedding?
I'd probably wear this one. I mean, for the most part, this is kind of my trademark. So I've over the years I've studied the best performers like Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars. I guess is kind of the newer performer of the era. And they all wear this kind of similar hat. So for me, it's like a reminder to like, hey, excellence, bring greatness, to your performances and your presence and your stage and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. How do you work with couples who have totally different music taste?
very carefully. Yeah, very carefully. So.
So you have to coordinate with wedding planners, photographers, and other vendors. Is that a challenge?
Not really. Everybody's there for one common goal. Everybody's there to have a good time. And, as long as you're like for me, I'm very just go with the flow. Like you never want to push a couple that doesn't want to be pushed. Sometimes couples will come up and be like, "Hey, can we slow it down a little bit? We don't need to move as fast as we had scheduled." I'm like, "Yeah, we can pull it back a little bit. We don't have to." They're like, "Hey, man, we're just talking to our friends and family. We don't really want to do our first dance quite yet. Can we kind of delay that another 30 minutes? Would that be cool?" I'm like, "Sure, got you, no problem." So
Yeah,
yeah, you just kind of work with the flow of the event and the couple. So,
nice. What's your most memorable event and why?
um, gosh, I think I know this is kind of a interesting answer, but I just say every wedding is different.
Mhm.
So for me, that's the best part. I don't have to play the same gig every time or the same wedding over and over again. So it can be anywhere from like announcing the shoe game to the grand entrance. The last dance sometimes gets really fun. Everybody will sing along. A couple hundred people will be singing. The sparkler exit is really fun. I think just overall like scoring the event with the music and then just having the ability to move your speakers around and your equipment and no one really notices you. Like that's the best part.
Um, okay, so have you ever had to pivot during an event and what happens when you do?
Yeah, sometimes you got to move your equipment. We had one where it was an outdoor. They planned it outdoor when they should have planned it indoor, and it was in June, but it started dumping rain, and they were like, "Hey, we can't keep it out here. Can you move your equipment inside?" I said, "Yep, let me call my assistant." I said, "We got this." They were all like, "Oh my gosh, like our wedding, it's ruined. It's raining." I'm like, "No, no, we'll just move the equipment up in the end of the venue, and I got you." So about 15, 20 minutes, we had the music going again, and everybody was dancing and partying. So
Oh, that's cool.
you
Mhm.
got to pivot, you got to make it happen. I said, "No, we're not gonna go this route. We're gonna go this route. Let's hook the equipment back up. I've done this a million times. It's gonna take maybe 15, 20, but we'll get the party going again." So
Well,
no worries at all.
how can someone book you and you have a you've got a three-step hiring process, I think.
Yeah, so you can go to DJiSizzle.com and it's all redesigned. The first button you see is called Book Now. Click on
Good.
the Book Now. You fill out the form. There's like 5 questions, your name. It's really simple. I said, let's just simplify this. Let's not do 20 questions. I'll ask you a few questions in a follow-up email to just double check, make sure where your venue is, and we'll adjust accordingly for pricing. So the first one is, yeah, send the email, and then we'll do a phone call to discuss if everything's good, and then we'll do the deposit, and then after the deposit, or excuse me, we'll do the contract, then we'll do the deposit, and then I'll send you out the music outline.
Okay.
So
How
those are the three processes.
How far in advance? Because some people book over and some people want to do it quickly and others are way out there.
Yeah, I'd say like no more than 12 months is good. 6 to 12 months, somewhere in that range is probably the best.
Okay.
So,
But they can
yeah.
get you sooner if they need you sometimes, right?
Yeah, I don't try to book out more than a year in advance just
That's
for reasons of, just best about 1 year. So,
absolutely. It's hard to
yeah,
plan too far ahead. So,
sure.
what truly makes a wedding unforgettable based on your experience in your eyes?
I just think just the couple and their overall like choice of music, just scoring with their music and what they want. Because the music that you love is, just the mood enhancements. So, yeah.
Excellent. Any final comments or
Just thank you so much for having me on your show. I think this is our third time, and like when we first started, like you had just started, I think. So like it's cool to see your progress and just continually see you grow and yeah, progress into what you're doing. So
well, it's fun and I'm delighted we did this again. So
yeah,
we'll
thank you so much.
information out to everybody and look for if you're planning a wedding, look for DJ iSizzle. He's the best.
Thank you so much, Janice.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. And thank you, audience, for watching for Courage Confidence Connections podcast. Janice Debo signing off.
All right. Bye.
Okay.